My friends, as you close your eyes tonight and allow the weight of the day to fade, I invite you to journey with me into a realm of thought that has built empires, healed broken spirits, and unlocked treasures hidden deep within the human soul. Tonight, we step together into the power of faith, the law of desire, the mastery of the mind, and the relentless pursuit of success that belongs to every man and woman willing to claim it. I recall a time when I, too, was faced with doubt, a time when the road before me seemed dark and uncertain. I was a young man seeking answers, much like you may be now, yearning to know if there truly was a secret to success. Through my search, I discovered a truth so profound it altered the course of my life forever. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. These words are not mere poetry, they are the very blueprint of destiny. Success begins first as a tiny flicker, a whisper in the heart, a burning desire that refuses to be silenced. Without desire, there is no fire to fuel the journey, no vision strong enough to endure the trials of life. I have met men who wanted wealth but lacked the hunger to chase it. They dreamed but never moved their feet. My friends, desire is the birth of greatness. It is the seed from which all fortune grows. Yet desire alone is not enough. It must be coupled with faith, a faith so unwavering that no circumstance can shake it. There were days when failure knocked on my door, days when others called my vision impossible. But I held fast to faith, for I knew that every setback was simply the universe reshaping the path to my success. Faith transforms thought into power, power into action, and action into results. The next step is persistence, the silent companion of every champion. I have stood among giants, men who built industries and shaped nations, and not one among them reached greatness without persistence. When the world said no, they whispered back, "Just watch me." Each defeat became a stepping stone, each hardship a lesson, until victory was inevitable. But perhaps the greatest wisdom of all is this: your mind is the master key to every door you wish to open. Guard it well, fill it with purpose, with belief, with courage, and you will find no dream too distant, no mountain too high. The riches of this world are not given to the strongest or the fastest. They belong to the one who masters his own thoughts. So tonight, as you drift into the realm of sleep, plant these truths deep within your subconscious: desire, faith, persistence, and mastery of the mind. Let them grow as you rest. Let them shape your tomorrows, and rise each morning knowing you hold the power to design your destiny. The world is waiting for you, my friend, and it will only deliver what you boldly demand from it. My friends, as you close your eyes tonight and allow the weight of the day to fade, I invite you to journey with me into a realm of thought that has built empires, healed broken spirits, and unlocked treasures hidden deep within the human soul. Tonight, we step together into the power of faith, the law of desire, the mastery of the mind, and the relentless pursuit of success that belongs to every man and woman willing to claim it. I want you to picture this: a young man standing at the crossroads of his life, uncertain of where to turn. His pockets nearly empty, his dreams seemingly out of reach, yet his heart beats with a quiet, unshakable yearning for something greater. That young man was me. There were nights when the only thing I owned was hope, and even hope seemed fragile. But deep within me there was a whisper, a voice that said, "There is more for you if only you believe." It was in those moments of uncertainty that I learned the first great truth. Success is born not from circumstance, but from thought. The world does not reward hesitation. It rewards vision backed by action. I began to study men of wealth, men of influence, men who seemed to bend fate in their favor. And I realized they all had one thing in common: they had mastered their own minds. The mind, my friends, is the only real estate you truly own. It is the workshop where ideas are forged into realities. It is the unseen force that shapes your future before the world ever lays eyes on it. If you fill it with doubt, you will harvest failure. If you fill it with purpose, faith, and burning desire, you will reap rewards beyond measure. Every invention, every towering skyscraper, every great fortune began first as a single thought in the mind of someone who dared to dream and refused to surrender that dream to fear or ridicule. And as I discovered this truth, I made a promise to myself to never again allow my mind to become a prison of limitations, but rather a palace of possibility. This journey is not reserved for the few. It is open to anyone willing to take control of their thinking, to nourish it daily with faith and vision, and to protect it fiercely from the weeds of nay. Success begins first as a tiny flicker, a whisper in the heart, a burning desire that refuses to be silenced. Without desire, there is no fire to fuel the journey, no vision strong enough to endure the trials of life. Desire is not merely a wish, nor is it a fleeting thought that drifts in and out of your mind. True desire is a force, an energy that grips your very soul and commands you to rise each morning with purpose, no matter how heavy your burdens may seem. I remember meeting men who spoke often of success, but treated it as something that might one day arrive by chance, as if fortune were a gift handed out at random. But those who wait for chance will wait forever. Desire does not wait for opportunity. It creates it. It knocks on closed doors, it moves mountains, it reshapes destiny. And a man or woman with burning desire becomes unstoppable because they are not merely hoping for success, they are determined to claim it. There was a time I sat with one of the most powerful men of my era, a man whose wealth reached far beyond imagination. I asked him, "What was it that brought you here?" He leaned forward, eyes burning with intensity, and he said it began as an obsession. I wanted it so much that I thought of nothing else, worked for nothing else, lived for nothing else. The world had no choice but to give me what I demanded. That is the nature of true desire. It becomes so strong, so deeply planted in the mind, that it grows roots and refuses to die. But desire is not idle. It must be fed daily, nurtured with thoughts of success, reinforced by clear goals and definite plans. Desire without direction is like a fire without fuel. It flickers and dies. Yet when you have a clear purpose, when your desire is backed by unwavering determination, you can withstand ridicule, failure, and even years of struggle, because deep down you know that destiny has already been written in your favor. When I speak of desire, I speak of a force so potent that it bends reality itself. It transforms the impossible into... It separates those who merely dream from those who wake each day and work until their dream takes shape before their very eyes. Desire, my friends, is the starting point of all achievement, the first step toward building a life that no man or circumstance can take away from you. Yet desire alone is not enough. It must be coupled with faith, a faith so unwavering that no circumstance can shake it, no failure can extinguish it, and no opposition can stand against it. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the thought in your mind and the reality you hold in your hands. Without faith, even the strongest desire remains only a dream, locked away in the confines of your imagination. I can recall a time in my own journey when the world seemed to conspire against me. I had the vision, the plan, and the hunger for success, yet every path I walked was met with closed doors. It would have been easy to surrender, to believe the whispers of doubt that told me, "Perhaps you are not meant to succeed." But faith refused to let me bow to fear. Faith spoke louder than failure, telling me that every setback was not the end but a test, a challenge meant to shape me into the man capable of carrying the weight of my dream. Faith is more than belief. It is knowing with absolute certainty that the outcome you seek already exists, even when your eyes see no evidence of it. It is the invisible force that sustains you in the darkest nights and the most trying hours. The greatest men I have ever met, those who built fortunes from nothing and turned adversity into triumph, All shared this unshakable conviction. They saw riches long before they possessed them, they felt victory long before it was celebrated, and they held fast to their vision even when the world called them fools. You see, faith transforms thought into power. When you truly believe, your mind begins to work in harmony with your purpose. Ideas flow, opportunities appear, and you find strength to keep moving even when every reason tells you to stop. Faith draws unseen forces to your aid, aligning people, circumstances, and events in ways you could never orchestrate on your own. You know, I have witnessed men with talent fall short because they lacked faith, while others, with far fewer resources, rose to heights unimaginable simply because they refused to doubt. Faith, my friends, is the key that unlocks the treasure chest of opportunity. It is the light that guides you through the storm, the anchor that keeps you steady when the winds of life threaten to blow you off course. Without it, desire is but a spark. With it, that spark becomes a blazing fire that nothing can extinguish. Up, 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 you. The next step is persistence, the silent companion of every champion, the trait that separates those who merely wish from those who ultimately win. Persistence is the quality that keeps a man moving forward when the night is long, the road is steep, and every voice around him screams, "Turn back." Without persistence, even the strongest desire and deepest faith wither under the weight of adversity. But with it, no obstacle can hold you, no failure can defeat you, and no delay can destroy you. You know, I have walked alongside men of great vision, men who built industries, pioneers, created empires, and changed the course of history. Each of them, without exception, carried within them a dogged determination that would not be broken. When life slammed the door in their faces, they didn't retreat. They knocked again, and if no one answered, they kicked the door wide open. They understood that persistence is the currency with which we purchase success, and those unwilling to pay the price will forever remain spectators of greatness. You know, I remember vividly the story of a young entrepreneur I once met, a man who faced failure not once or twice, but dozens of times. Every idea he touched seemed to crumble, every effort appeared wasted. Friends abandoned him, critics mocked him, and even his own family questioned his sanity. Yet every morning he rose from his bed with one thought in his heart: "Today I move closer to victory." And he did. Slowly, painfully, but steadily, he carved his path to success until the world could no longer deny his vision. Copergion is not merely enduring hardship, it is refusing to accept defeat as final. It is rising each time you fall, not weaker but stronger, for every challenge teaches you something vital. Every failure is a stepping stone, a lesson dressed in disguise, shaping you into the person